You know the names, you've seen the plays, but what about the stories behind the game? Welcome to Honorable Mentions with Tanner Morgan and Quinn Carroll, two teammates turned storytellers, breaking down life, film, and everything in between. From locker room laughs to real world lessons, nothing's off the record here. This is Honorable Mentions.
Morgan to throw, has time, lost one near side for Tyler Johnson. He has the catch at the 10, down the sideline, touchdown! What a play! He's got all the double, the one at the 10, turns it up 5, touchdown! Minnesota Golden Gophers!
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Honorable Mentions podcast. We have an elite guest with us, Pat Coogan, 2025 National Champ, Rose Bowl MVP. The Indiana O-line was a Joe Moore Award snub, and Pat Coogan was a Remington Trophy snub. But Pat, thanks for joining the pod. Tell us where you're at right now and kind of what you've been up to after the incredible run you had with the Hoosiers.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I know we've been playing a bit of a phone tag for the past couple weeks to set a date, but I appreciate you boys hanging in there with me. It's been a crazy couple weeks, man. As I just showed you guys, I'm in beautiful Arizona, training down here with Training House. There he is. You want to see the man, the myth, the legend?
You talking about me? You're talking about me.
Yes, we're
Be
talking
careful.
about you, Bill. Everybody, welcome Bill Welly.
Bill wanted to get out of Minnesota so bad.
I showed him the mountains, and they're like, oh, it's actually not bad today in Minnesota. It's like 31 degrees.
That's not bad.
Yeah. No, but it's been great down here. Just so great to get to know all these guys and train with this great group of guys, you know, all like-minded individuals. Iron sharpens iron, and it's a grind, man. There's no doubt about it, but that's life, and that's the life we chose, and it's the best life. But, yeah, I got down here last Monday. We celebrated hard in Bloomington and then flew directly to Phoenix, and it's been pedal to the metal since then. So it's great.
So
it's
how
a
many
busy
days-
life, but go ahead.
So how many days did you have between the national title and reporting in Arizona?
6. We flew. Yeah, we finished. We finished late Monday night, you know, in Miami. Stayed up later than I should have, probably. Got back home in Bloomington about like Tuesday night. And then, you know, went back to Chicago, celebrated back at home, got to see family, see my grandma and stuff like that. So that was nice. I was home for like 3 days and then headed back down to Bloomington to do like the championship parade celebration, which was really cool. And then flew straight to Phoenix. So it was nonstop there for like a week.
Pat, can you talk a little bit about the celebration in general? Because I know you guys were all walking out with the Leatherman jacket on, I thought that was sick.
Sweet.
But just the overall amount of people there, I saw a stat, and you lived it, right? That there were more people in attendance than any Big Ten conference game at Indiana in 2023. So prior to Sig getting there. And It was like, what, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees? Can you just talk us and bring us into that moment a little bit, that celebration in Bloomington?
It was crazy cold. Like it was wild, but it was so cool, man. Like we walked out of the the same entrance that we kind of walk out of every game, and it was kind of just like a full circle moment. Because, you know, by the grace of God, I was a captain every game, so I actually never entered the stadium with the team. I always went through the side door with the other captains. So it was kind of like really cool to be like walking out with the boys one last time, right? And, you know, we were all in our Letterman's jackets and stuff, and the pictures came out were all time. But, man, it was so cool just to see everybody brave the elements, and it was really special, man. There's no doubt about it. It's certainly a day that I'm gonna never forget. Like walking up to the stage and seeing all the trophies that we have acquired in one singular year was like mind blowing.
Mm.
Right.
Like our the Purdue, our rivalries, but like just
Yep.
Purdue and
The
Michigan
bucket.
State. Yeah, right. And then but also like the Rose Bowl and like Big Ten championship and Peach, like all laid out across this one stage. We all like looked at each other being like, holy, you know what I mean? Like this is insane. But it was just so fun to be back with the boys, just goofing around. It was a blast, man. There's no doubt about it.
That's incredible. What do you think the secret sauce was for Indiana this year? People talk about it, with other teams that, might not have a winning record right now or get a new coach in. But what do you think was the secret sauce for a team that's a bunch of self-proclaimed misfits? I think you might have said that. Transfers in or, JMU guys following Coach Sig. What allowed you guys to outperform a team full of 5 stars?
Yeah, I mean that's the common question, right? That's what everyone's trying to figure out.
Yeah.
There was no secret, right? And it's just going to be cliche to say, but and QC, I don't know if you remember this from our days at Notre Dame, but when Coach Reese used to say the secret's in the dirt, I
Yeah.
feel like that is like so clear cut of what we did this year. Like we were just so honed in on the details, so honed in on like playing together, playing for one another, like the bigger purpose of what we're trying to accomplish on the field. Right? Like everyone understood their role. We had the best quarterback in the country, right? The number 1 pick, like, but you would never know that this guy, probably last week was the most famous person in America, right? Like,
Yeah.
he was just so down to earth. Like, that's just how everyone in the locker room was. Like, we truly loved each other and we loved playing with each other, and we certainly loved playing for each other, right? And I think that is almost like the difference maker, because like in the summer, like in the spring, we knew how talented we were, right? We knew the capabilities we had, but like when the moment came, like when the fourth quarter arrived, like who were we truly gonna be? Like when our backs up against the wall, like who were we gonna be? And we answered that every single time, right? And we answered that together. Um, like our coaching staff answered that each and every day, like pouring everything they had into the game plan and into practice and making sure we squeezed everything out of our preparation, right? Like I'm sure you guys have seen the messages from Coach Signetti of like how our practices are not long. Like we didn't have, the hardest fall camp of my life. Like it's just how he rolls, but it's purposeful, and everything was purposeful. So I think certainly that was a key ingredient. And at the end of the day, like everything just worked so well together. So, there's really, if you want to call that a secret, maybe you can, but at the same time, it's things that like people know, right? It's things that every team, every program in the country can achieve, right? But at the same time, it's the willingness to achieve it. It's the willingness to go that extra mile. It's the willingness to like stay later, be earlier, that love in the locker room, right? That's the hard things to find.
It's like the Mike Tomlin quote. It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like what you were saying. Pat, you're talking about purposeful. Take us into a purposeful decision that you had to make, right? Leaving Notre Dame, which some people may not understand. Notre Dame is in Indiana, right? And you had a long career there, played in a national championship at Notre Dame, decided to transfer to Indiana. Obviously, Quinn's wearing the hat. If you're listening on audio, he's got a sick Indiana Hoosiers script retro hat on, very fitting for Quinn. Take us into the mindset shift from Notre Dame to Indiana. What was the difference, right? Because Indiana, I mean, when before Coach Signetti got there, right, was totally different historically than Notre Dame, right? And the ability to flip kind of that program and how quickly he did that and you guys did that and achieved that is probably one of the most underrated stories in the history of college football. And I don't say that lightly. So just tell us a little bit about the mind. Yeah, truthfully, like just tell us about the mindset shift of going from Notre Dame to Indiana, maybe what went into that decision and kind of the differences that you faced and what you stepped into.
Yeah, certainly. I guess I'll just start at the beginning. Like, my time at Notre Dame was truly a blessing, and I enjoyed every second. I learned so much. Like, I spent 4 years there. Like, I grew so much as a man, as a player, as a student, being a Notre Dame grad. Like, I don't take that lightly, right? Like, I still have so much love for the university, right? Quinn, you know this, but like, I grew up an ND fan. Like, I went to my first probably ND game when I was like 3 or 4 years old, like being from the south side of Chicago. So that love like doesn't just disappear, right? Like, I poured my heart and soul into that university. And then that kind of goes into why I left, is because like it was time, right? Like, I spent 4 years there. I graduated. I led my team to the national championship, right? Like, yes, we did fall short. You know, by that time I had 26 career starts. I built together a resume that I was proud of, and that I, took pride in. Who you are is what you put on tape, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, there was just not the same agreeance in my value to the program, and the opportunity wasn't there to be the player that I wanted to be, right? Like, I knew I could be the guy for a program, the guy for an offensive line room. And the opportunity was not there at Notre Dame anymore. You know what? And at the end of the day, as much as it sucked, right, and I never wanted to leave, but at the same time, I'm grateful that my coaches were honest with me, because like it's a profession where you don't always get that. So I'm certainly grateful that they were honest with me, and I still have so much love for everybody in that building. I was literally just talking to Coach Freeman like 2 days ago. He texted me that he just finished watching the Miami game and that he was just proud of me, and if I ever needed anything, like, he's got my back. And so, like, that's the type, it's awesome that we still have that relationship. And I'm really proud of my time at Notre Dame, and certainly made so many great friends, like old head QC here, and just people in the building that, I still have great relationships with. But it was time to move on and time to be that guy. And I had belief in myself, and certainly a lot of other programs had belief in me as well to be that guy and fill those shoes. And moving to Indiana was, one of the greatest decisions I've ever made in my life. I don't care that we won a national championship, but it obviously it helps, right? But at the same time, like, just the whole year, right? Like, I was in a position where I was a captain at a team where I just got there 6 months ago, right? And I was named captain. Like, I was able to prove to myself, most importantly, like, the belief in myself. I was able to prove that, I can be that guy for a program. I can be that guy in the offensive line room. So it was certainly bittersweet to leave the university. But at the end of the day, like, I'm a firm believer in everything happening for a reason, and it certainly worked out way better than I could have ever imagined. Truly grateful for, every up and down and bump in the road. Like, it's all shaped me to who I am today. Like, it all shaped me to who I was this past year. Like, everything that happened at Notre Dame shaped me to the player and person I was at Indiana. Like, it's all connected. I believe that, and I choose to believe that. But yeah, and just so grateful for IU for bringing me in, right? Like, they chose to believe in me just as much as I believed in myself. They gave me those shoes to fill, slot right in at center and be that guy. And take control of the offense, and obviously, respect is earned, but they gave me the opportunity to earn it. So it's been a crazy ride of
Right.
5 years of college football, but wouldn't trade it in for a second.
Pat, you talked about your love for ND and just how you were raised that way. How were you able to pivot that to IU when you walked, when you showed up in Bloomington, to give your all every snap for that place, even though you had only been there for, you were only there for a year?
Certainly, yeah. I think it was just a chapter that closed in my life, right? Like it's, you think of it as a book like that. Those 4 years at Notre Dame was a hell of a chapter, but it closed and I had to move on. And like my family had to move on too. Like they're just as big fans of ND as I was, right? Like,
Yeah.
so, um, but at the end of the day, now I was moving into, it was a professional decision of my career. Like my career had to take this next step, right? Like I had to put myself in position to use my last year of eligibility and put my performance on the field to further my career. So that was at the forefront of my mind. Entering the portal, like this is my last year. I got to maximize my abilities and talents, right? But at the same time, like I had a duty and responsibility to put everything I have onto the field, um, for this coaching staff at IU and this university for bringing me in and choosing to believe in me and giving me the opportunity, to be the player that I believed I was and that I proved I am, right? Because at the end of the day, like, that's what I really take to heart. Like when someone believes in you and you can feel that belief each and every day, like in the O-line room, um, in just the locker room and how you go about like the facility, like that to me, like that goes a long way. And that's what I really take to heart, like that belief that they had in me. So I owed them everything to reciprocate that love and appreciation.
I love it. Talking about belief, right? You mentioned earlier one of the most popular, if not the most popular guy in the country, Fernando Mendoza, your quarterback, who I am positive you had a ton of belief in from the day that you got on campus. Tell us a little bit about just your relationship. We're obviously an O-line quarterback pod. Like we love that unique relationship there, and kind of bring us into maybe into the locker room or just in general, the relationship and the respect that you guys had for each other. Right. Hard guy not to like, right? Says all the right things, very passionate post-game press conferences. I even think back to the one he had at Cal after a game-winning drive, very passionate. Right. His Heisman speech was phenomenal. Just talk about the relationship you guys had together, obviously national champion, Heisman Trophy winner, more than likely the first overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. Not to get a little prophetic here, but that's what it seems to be. Who knows? But tell us, we know about the player and we've seen all the stories behind him, but just from the O-line quarterback relationship, I mean, he was fired up when you won the Rose Bowl MVP. We loved that. We talked about it on the podcast. Tell us, and you can go anywhere you want to go with this, just your guys' relationship, how it formed, and how you guys are going to continue to have that maybe for years to come.
Yeah, man, he's the best. Like he's an absolute boy. Like we're super tight. Not just because we're center or O lineman, just because we're great friends. And I think that goes a long way, right? Kind of like I talked about earlier, like that love in the locker room. Like we're truly just boys, And it's similar to like QC, like what we had at Notre Dame, just like when we wanted to get away from football and just be boys, like that feeling of, walking out of the facility and just wanting to hang out with your boys, that's the type of guy he is. I understand, his, press conferences. He says the right, he is, you know, no BS. He's all about business and he says the right thing all the time. And people often think like, is he faking it? Like there's no way that's real. Like it's truly real. That's just like who he is as a person. And that's the best part about him. Like yes, he's a little quirky, and he raises his voice, and his voice gets a little high when he's talking after the Big Ten championship. But like that's what we love about him, man. Like he's full of life, and he's full of just like joy for his teammates. Um, he's hilarious guy to just be around and hang out. Um, like I said, you would never know that he's the Heisman or gonna be the number one pick when you're watching ball on Sunday night at the buddy's house, sitting on the couch, right? Like, and I think that goes a long way to just describe how we were as a team. And it certainly starts with him. Like, he was friends with everybody in the locker room. If you saw him play ping pong in the players' lounge, like it's straight comedy. Like, he's the best ping pong player I've ever seen. And he was just like dicing up dudes. Like, our receivers would get so pissed, and they're just like screaming at each other, like just that competitive spirit that he has, but also just in a fun mannered way. It's just fun in the locker room. So I'm really excited to watch him, continue to grow. Um, Certainly, this draft, stage that we're all in, it's going to be fun to watch. But I talk to him near every day. So it's fun to catch up, and man, he's the best. Like, there's seriously no bad things to say about him. But probably the best thing to say is he's just a boy. Like, he's a great hang, and he's going to have a ton of future successes, not because of how talented he is, and we know how well he can throw a football, but because of the locker room aspect that he brings to the table, for sure.
That's great. And you have always been a team guy first. I got to see that at ND. Everybody got to see that at ND. You went viral for those pregame hype up speeches your senior year at Notre Dame. So tell us about that and the virality of those clips, and just kind of how that showed your leadership and command of that team.
Yeah, yeah, that was wild, man. Like, I didn't love how it was all posted on, TikTok and Twitter, and my language was aired out for the world to see. I mean, I know I cursed probably more than I should, but I got my grandma at home watching it, and I'm like, oh man,
Oh,
like,
jeez.
but nah, I mean, she loved it. She loved it. No, but it started really when I wasn't playing last year at ND. We had a really young offensive line group, and the first, the first month or two of the season, we really went through a tough stretch. Obviously we lost to NIU, but just like the leadership aspect wasn't there because of the guys that were on the field, they were still very young. And so I took it upon myself to kind of be that vocal leader. And I did it the whole year. It's just the one time it got recorded was probably the loudest one and the most explicit one. Um, and then obviously it went viral, and then throughout the playoffs they all got recorded too. But yeah, man, I mean, it was just a moment with the boys. Like, I kind of just I remember just like blacking out. I would see the cameras, but I also wouldn't care at all because it was just that one last moment before with the boys before pregame, and just walking out and like going in the war, right? Like that, the man in the arena type energy. So it was fun, and I know the guys have continued to do it this year. So I'm sure I'm glad at least the tradition has continued on.
Yeah. Well, your influence was obviously powerful at Notre Dame, but also even more so at Indiana, it seems. Like when you won Rose Bowl MVP, first O lineman to do it since 1944 or something like that, your entire team or the guys on the podium jumped with you and were celebrating with you. Like, you don't see that. So tell us about that and winning that award. I was there and I was celebrating,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure I blacked out. So just take us into that moment.
Dude, I don't think I fully like grasped it all. Like it, because it seems so odd, or it seems so like not real, but at the same time, like it's full reality. Like someone told me the other day that they're in the middle of like carving my name into the stadium, because they like carve every MVP's name into the stadium, and I'm just like that doesn't sound right. Like that shouldn't be a thing, right?
That's
Um,
crazy.
I know, dude, it's wild. Like, but truly one of the greatest like moments of my life, maybe, like not because of what it did for me. Like, yes, it was cool, and I think it mainly encapsulated the whole team, right? Like, Fernando was getting a lot of love, like guys like other big guys, but like a lot of the guys that didn't, like we had a ton of guys that played a huge impact on our success. So I think that award really encapsulates all of us, right? All of, not maybe not the quote unquote unsung heroes, but like the guys that do the dirty work and the guys that you know don't have the biggest name. I think there's a ton of us on that team, and that award really encapsulated it all. So it certainly wasn't it wasn't an individual thing, especially on the O line. Like the O line played fantastic that day, the whole unit. But man, to like feel the love and just feel the excitement and the joy from everybody and everybody in the stadium, like it's hard to describe. Like um I just remember him calling, like I'm like staring off into the kind of just enjoying the crowd, and he's talking, and I remember him saying my name, and I just like snapped my head, and because I'm like, did he just say my name? Like that's no way, right? um
Right.
and I just see everyone come running at me, and oh man, it's so cool. And but seriously, the best part of it was days after, like people sending me videos of my family in the stands, being just as shocked as I was, and like my dad like crying, and people like turning around in shock, like just audibly like gasping, like you know, just it's hard to describe, like um, just the love and appreciation for that moment, because they got to enjoy it just as me, right? Like QC, you were there. Like I had like near 50 people there, like out in California, like flying
Yeah.
across the country. And just for the Rose Bowl, and for them to have that another special moment, to celebrate me, was just
Time out.
unbelievable.
And you're saying just for the Rose Bowl. It's the Rose Bowl. It's the
No, no,
granddaddy
no.
of
I'm
them all.
saying,
But that I think that highlights your guys' mentality at Indiana of like, well, yeah, it's not even the Natty yet. It's just the Rose Bowl.
well, I more meant like I have a very passionate football family, but 50 was insane. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my family traveled, but a lot of my family and extended family knew how special the Rose Bowl was, so that's why they went. So like they went because it was the Rose Bowl. My bad. My apologies. The Rose Bowl is amazing.
He's like, I'm not trying to get in trouble by the Rose Bowl at all here. I think it's just interesting though when you guys, talk about just your expectation. Like you guys knew that you could get beat, right? You had a humility, but there was an expectation to go out there and get the job done and win. Can you talk a little bit about the Oregon game?
Mhm.
Um, I mean, you guys played in Eugene early in the season. It was a tight game up into the third quarter, I believe. But then the playoff game, right, was just, I mean, some people would call
Body
that
bag.
BTA, right? You guys,
Yeah.
you guys dominated the entirety of the game. Pick six on the very first play on a little out route. Dante Moore threw a pick six, and you guys just kind of got the train rolling from there. What was the prep like for that game? Knowing you'd already played them before, and were you surprised that you guys won that game that handedly?
Um, I would say, yeah. I mean, I was expecting an absolute rock fight. Like Oregon was a hell of a team. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like they had a great D line, a great linebacking crew. Like they were a hell of a team. Just going into the preparation, like I can't tell you how many times we rewatched the game from October, and our O-line coach just drilling in our heads like everything we messed up on, like or how
Yeah.
like how our bad footwork or like our bad hands. So our mentality was like, I know Oregon's mentality was like get their lick back and like run it back. Let's run it
Mm-hmm.
back, right? Like, but at the same time, like we knew across the board that we didn't play clean at all in October, right? Like we had a lot to prove. And we had a lot to prove to ourselves. I remember vividly like talking to our linebacker Aiden Fisher about one of those meetings. I'm like, yeah, coach was just we're just rewatching the game like over and over. He's just drilling in, and I was like, dude, we did not play well. Like just rewatching it back, right? Like, and then um, Fish was like, dude, same. Like, neither do we, right? Like it was kind of that like moment where we both were like, we gotta go out and prove like who like the real us are, right? And I think we did that. I think we did it really well. But that was really the mentality. Like we were going out there with something to prove as well.
For sure. Has any of it fully set in yet? Like you're a national champ and you were a key part of arguably the greatest story in all of sports. Like has any of that set in, or are you just riding this high all the way to the draft?
No, I certainly think it's starting to set in. I mean, last week or 2 weeks ago, um, just after the game, it was really hard to like sit back and kind of enjoy it because there was still so much going on, right? Like I was traveling home, trying to plan my travel to Phoenix, like coming back for the celebration and going out and seeing my family. So there was so much, but like now I can like now I can really like sit back and almost reminisce, right? Like kind of
Yeah.
we have a huge group chat of like all our main friend group from IU, and just we always just send like um people make those like TikTok edits of like the um one of them, the latest one was the one with like Too Fast by Jason Aldean, the song in the background. It's just like it's just funny, man. Like it's cool to see um what we've done. I don't think it'll truly all settle in because I'm out here grinding, getting up at 6 and getting home at 6, and I got my eyes focused on something that I've been, playing for and training for my whole life, right? So, um, maybe maybe some other time, right? I understand what we did, and it is unbelievable, and just so proud of everything we accomplished, and proud of my teammates, and really just so happy for the university, right? Everyone who's poured their heart and soul into IU, even when it was really bleak. It was really dark there for a while. Like the football program was non-existent. So for those people to
Mm-hmm.
have that moment, to really rejoice in reaching the mountaintop, you know, it was really cool to see, just everybody. Like it was a whole university like reach the mountaintop. Um, so it's surreal. It really is.
I love it. You kind of talked on it a little bit. Just what you're doing right now. Can you tell the listeners, right? I know you got here. You got to Phoenix last week working with Training House and Brute. Just bring us. I mean, 500 level. Just what are you doing on a daily basis, the training perspective, and what are you preparing for? Right, like you said, for something that you've wanted to do your entire life, a dream of yours. Will check you in a natty. Now it's trying to go play and not just trying to make it, but to last in the NFL for a long period of time. Tell our listeners what goes into that and what you're excited about in this transition period.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's a grind and it's not for everybody. I think that's, what one of the main takeaways that I've had just in my 2 weeks here. Like we've had guest speakers. This past Wednesday was Billy Turner, and he was up in Minnesota, QC. I don't know if you were there for that, but he played, mainly for the Packers, but he spent a hell of a time in the NFL, and he was just telling us like, this is not for everybody, boys. Like, some of you are not going to make it, and that's the brutal truth. So it's certainly eye-opening. It's not just a game anymore. This is our lives. This is our livelihood. So yeah, I mean the schedule here is great. It's long days, but it's worthwhile. Like it's all for a purpose, and everything we do here with Bill and Boone is purposeful, and they do a great job of making sure we're intentional every single day. Like every single day is we're working on something, like we're crafting, we're bettering our best. It's amazing to get here and think like, oh yeah, I can run a 40, or like, and there's just so much technique and so much details that have to be mastered, for just like the way to run. You think you got it all figured out, right? You've been running your whole life, and it's just completely wrong.
Yeah.
So being able to take what Bill's teaching us and apply it on the field, there's no doubt it takes time, right? But he's a great teacher. Like he's a trainer, but he's a great teacher. So it's great, man. There's certainly long days. Like I kind of said, 6 to 6, with a few breaks in between, but being able to break down film with Boone, and just like be with him all the time, and really just pick his brain, and you know, learn about the life of NFL, right? Like what am I getting myself into? What to expect, what not to do. Like you can't succeed without getting in your, you don't want to get in your own way first, right? Like, you know, you can't be the stupid rookie, right? You can't be the guy that everybody hates. So just learning those things, picking his brain. It's a great environment down here. It really is. There's a great group of guys from across the country that are that we're all just grinding, man.
That's awesome. Hey, before we get to our honor roll, you were talking about Fernando going viral or being the most popular guy in the country the past week. I think everybody saw his Coach Sig impression. Do you have a Coach Sig or a Coach Bostad impression for us?
That was great. What he did was hilarious. I was watching that just like rolling over in laughter. One of my favorite things
Seemed
about
pretty accurate.
It was. One of my favorite things of Coach Sig, like his team meetings are very short, right? Like 3 minutes. He really just hones in on, God, there's bugs, sorry. Hones in on the details and the team preparation. But every time he walks into a team meeting, he'll just be like, all right. He'll just like strut in there and hit his little like, all right. And then prop down his Gatorade and then get to it. And it's like 2.5 minutes. And then he walks out. And we're like, all right, cool. See you later. That was like one of my sneaky favorite things.
What color
That's
Gatorade
hilarious.
guy is Coach Sig? What's his go-to color Gatorade?
He's the light blue, like without a doubt. And it has to be 0.
Respect.
Yeah. Glacier Freeze, I'm pretty sure it's called.
Yeah, that's up there. I mean,
Yeah.
still lemon lime guy myself. I don't know. Can't
That's
get
fair.
past it, but
I'm a Powerade
That's
guy
fair.
through and through. Powerade 0.
I love a good Powerade. I had a grape one the other day, Powerade 0. Delicious.
It's the
dude.
best. It's literally the best.
that was one
my
of Quinn's honor
roll.
rolls.
That was my honor
That
roll
was his
a couple
honor roll.
weeks
Great
ago.
Powerade 0. Bro, let me put you
shoot.
on. The orange Powerade 0 is slept on. Orange Powerade 0. Delicious.
I've never had it.
I'll have to go try.
Let's get to our
I'll have
honor
to go
roll.
try it.
Pat, Tanner, Pat was texting me a couple days ago. He's like, I got to fire up a heater of an honor roll. So I know Pat's been thinking about it. He's a great friend of the
just to
pod.
let
He
you
knows
know,
what it's about.
just to let you know, John Michael Schmitz was on last week.
I saw it.
This is crazy, by the way. We got two great, freaking awesome centers on back-to-back weeks. Fire up, let's go.
Yeah.
John did 3, so I usually do 2. John was like, "Screw it, I'm gonna do 3." And his best
Oh,
one.
we can
was
do
his last one.
multiple. Wow.
You can do multiple.
Yeah, I mean,
if
don't
you
go
want.
past 3. Maybe 3. 3 is a good number, though. If you have 3 good ones that you can rip off,
All right.
right? But if you start to stutter, then like we probably should have told John, tighten it up. That was John's fault, though. Quinn, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, dude. I'm going back to the beverage train. So my honor roll this week is a white monster. Pat and I in this group chat, we used to do it every Friday. Like we'd have coffees throughout the week, and then every Friday we'd shoot a picture of our white monsters.
Happy Friday, boys.
That we just picked up at Holiday or something like that. So that's my honor roll this week. White monster, undefeated. I could have one every day, but I'd have a heart attack. So
I love it.
Correct.
I'm a quick trip guy myself, but it's all right. White Monster. Dude, that's like the goated road trip drink too.
Totally.
About 3 hours in, you're gonna have to pull over at some point though. But I'm gonna Coogan. I always do 2. It's just kind of the way I go. My first one is gonna be the Minnesota Zoo, and I'll give you a little bit of context. Today on a Friday, made a quick decision with the wife. Got 2 young kids, 7-month-old daughter and a 2.5-year-old. And it was, you know what? Let's go to the Minnesota Zoo. 30-degree day in Minnesota. People like to act up, sun shining, right? Still pretty cold. Didn't realize that the zoo was 50, 60% inside. So for that, they get an honor roll because it was a great experience for my kids. My second one is an elite cadence by an O-line coach in Indy. And I'll tell you why I got this is because we did a camp and I saw a video of Quinn giving his O-line cadence. Then I saw him on Monday training the YZ Trojans on Monday morning, 6:30 in the morning. The quarterbacks and receivers were out there. Quinn was firing up the O-line. And all I hear is, sit it, sit it. Just, top tier O-line coach cadence work will fire me up. And that was immediately, I saw it and I said, that is my honor roll. So specifically, O-line coach with an elite cadence, even more so, the one and only QC with his work this past week.
It's got to come from the gut.
It has to come from the gut.
Like that Browns O-line coach whose gut flops every time.
I love that.
That's the best. You say, what do you say? You think they stretched before World War II? You think they had the bands out doing push-ups, calisthenics?
Yeah. High knees before storming the beach? No.
All right, Coogan, what do you got for us?
All right, I got 2 as well. My first one, I didn't really appreciate these until I came out here to Arizona. I know we're 3 Midwest guys. Tanner, you're from Minnesota, correct?
I'm from Northern Kentucky, near Cincinnati.
Okay. All right.
Pretty
Fair.
much Midwest, yeah.
Yeah. Honor roll number 1, mountains. Mountains are sick. We don't get to experience them in the Midwest, but driving and my commute from the facility to where I'm staying is like 20, 25 minutes. Mountains are unbelievable. Like, God has graced this earth with mountains. We need to place mountains all over across the board.
I love that. That's a great honor roll.
They are just so cool to look at.
Show them to us. Show us the mountains, Pat. Yes, that's awesome.
Mountains.
I love it.
I think that's great. Number 2. We were talking about this earlier, and you guys mentioned in Minnesota it's like cracking above 30. And especially on that first sunny Saturday of spring ball, when you just went through hell like January, February, it's maybe practice 4, practice 5, but that first Saturday where it's like 42 degrees, maybe even like 37, still chilly, but the sun's out, so it feels warm. and you're like, oh, we're going to the boys' house after this. Like, you sprint out of the facility. You already got the plans made. You shower, you get out, you grab lunch to go, you go straight to the gas station or wherever you're going, and you're at the boys' house for the whole afternoon. Like that is peak. I think that's peak college, but that's also a peak like experience.
100%.
I think most people who have experienced that would agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So,
and those who
just
haven't,
when you
wish they
grind,
had.
you get and just get to be with the guys. One thing I appreciate about you, Pat, this is the first time we got to chat, is you're just a guy that just wants to be with the boys. That's what I'm picking up, man.
Oh yeah.
True and
Just a
true.
guy that's gonna grind, and he just wants to be with the boys. I love it.
Amen, brother.
Well, Pat, thanks
Simple
for
guy.
joining us, dude. We wish you nothing but the best going forward. Thanks for being a friend of the pod. Everybody go like, comment, subscribe. Go follow Pat on all socials. We'll have him on again sometime after the draft. We'll see. We'll let him be for now. And we'll see where God's putting him in his next chapter of his life. Thanks again, Pat. We love you, brother.
Right.
Best of luck to you. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on. It was fun. Appreciate you.